you're shopping for yourself or your kids at the grocery store and you are looking at this or this, high fructose corn syrup, sugar. Even these ones that look a little nicer that say they are preserves have high fructose corn syrup and corn syrup in it. One of my favorite things to do is recreate commonly purchased grocery store items to make them a little bit healthier at home. So let's go tackle the world of making our own jam. I think that sounds fun. I'll meet you in my kitchen. So we are of course gonna need strawberries for our strawberry jam. I wish I had my own homegrown strawberries, which I had wanted to set up a little strawberry patch in the backyard, never got around to it. But Fred Meyer's had these 2-pound cases of strawberries on sale for $5.99, which is actually a really good deal for Alaska. Fresh produce can be very expensive here. The normal price on this was 10 bucks, so I bought 4 of them. I have no idea how many I'm gonna need, so I thought I'd better be safe than sorry. And so I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 pounds of strawberries. My first job is to cut the tops off of the, oh wait, no. My first job is to wash them, then we will cut the tops off. So I have 3 of my crates here washed and drying on my towel. I'm gonna set this tray aside. I may have enough for the recipe that I'm using here. If I need more, then I'll go into this, but I don't wanna chop these all up right now if I don't need to. So when canning jams, you do need to use a pectin. I purchased the low sugar, it's called Sure Gel pectin, so that you can just use less sugar with your jam. It still uses a lot of sugar in the recipe. This is not a sugar-free jam, but it is less sugar than the normal pectin jam recipe. I love that I can use organic cane sugar and not that junk corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup. We don't want that. We're gonna use nice organic sugar, which is better. So I wanna show you something really cool. I guess these used to come with a little recipe pamphlet, but now you just scan their QR code and it will pull up all kinds of stuff. So I'm just gonna go to Explore Recipes. Strawberry jam, that's the one I'm gonna do, but there's strawberry jalapeno, strawberry rhubarb, blueberry jelly, blueberry jam, hot pepper jam, so many ideas right here on the box, so check that out. I actually had to do a little bit of searching on the website because the recipe that came up on here was for the full sugar pectin recipe, not the low sugar, but I found one. 6 cups crushed strawberries, 4 cups of sugar, 1 box of low sugar Sure Gel. That's all it is. So this is my assembly line. I've got my berries here. I'm gonna get the tops off, put them in the bowl, get the tops in here. I'm using this little strawberry huller that works pretty good. I'm gonna see if I like it doing this big batch, but it just takes the little tops off so easy. Yeah, that's working good. So you just put the little clamp on the top, twist, and it comes out. Love that. Making this strawberry jam is making me think about my grandma because she always made the best, most yummy strawberry freezer jam recipe. Whenever she would make a big batch of it, she would always give us some, and it was my favorite treat. Best way to eat it on a piece of toast, spread with butter, and then the strawberry jam on top of it, and it is just heavenly. So I am making this thinking about her. Why aren't I wearing my apron? I really wish I had chickens that I could share these strawberry tops with. One of my bucket list life goals is to raise my own chickens. Do any of you have your own chickens? Do you love it? The in-laws have chickens. So when we lived in Arizona, they would share their eggs with us, which were amazing. Fresh, delicious eggs. And I want that for myself. One day, it's gonna happen. Just you wait. I did decide to leave out the strawberries that weren't very ripe because they're not gonna be juicy or flavorful. So I am hoping that out of this big bowl of strawberries, we have enough to get 6 cups of crushed strawberries because that's what we need for our recipe. So I am just gonna look for my potato masher. You know what? This might also mash well. I think we'll try both. potato masher and meat masher. School starts for us in 3 days, and I just cannot believe it that school is already here, which is a little concerning to me because that means I am going back to work. If you are new here on my channel, I just work as a part-time substitute teacher. I strictly only work at my kids' elementary school, which I actually really love. It's fun to get to interact with them at school and interact with their teachers and just see what they're up to during the day, sneaking little hugs and kisses in the hallway while they still like me. I asked my kids, I was like, do you want me to sub again this year? And they all said yes. So that made my mama heart happy. But, you know, it just makes life a little bit busier. This is my Dutch oven that I cook sourdough bread in, but this is what I'm gonna be using also to cook up my strawberry jam. I definitely had plenty. That's 6 cups of the crushed strawberries. This is what I have left over. We will save this for like yogurt toppings or ice cream topping. That would be so good. I am now just gonna get my strawberries boiling. We need to get these to a rolling boil while I get the sugar and pectin situation. I'm using the organic cane sugar from Costco. I'm gonna measure out 4 cups. Get it into a bowl. 1. The next step is to combine our pectin in a bowl separately, mixed with 1/4 of the sugar mixture, which is a cup because we did 4 cups. So here we go. That is gonna go into here. And then we're gonna give that a little mix. Since my strawberries have come to a boil, I'm going to first add in the pectin sugar mixture. After this goes in, we are going to stir and bring it to a full rolling boil. We're almost boiling. I'm throwing in a pat of butter. That's supposed to help control the foam that comes up, which the foam doesn't hurt anything, it's just not as pleasant. So we will see if the butter trick works. We are almost ready to add the rest of the sugar. Maybe I should have added the butter sooner. I don't really know. It looks to me like we're at a full boil. It'll still boil even when I stir. So that means we can add the rest of our sugar. Sugar. Man, that's a lot of sugar. So good. Oh, I hope this doesn't boil over. Oh no. Oh no. I need a bigger pot. We'll see. We will see. So I'm just letting this come back up to another full boil. I'm gonna time it for 1 minute, and after 1 minute, I'm gonna remove it from the heat, and then we will get our jars ready. This is my water bath canner that I purchased from Walmart online. I will put a link in the video description. All you need for water bath canning is a large stock pot. So here's what we got. And you do need something for the jars to sit on, so it comes with a rack to put your jars in. So you want your jars to be warm when you're filling them with your hot jam and then transferring them back into the water bath canner just to prevent any breakage of your glass. So I've got my jars in here filled with some water. I'm gonna get this going. Then I will pull my jars out, dry them off real quick. We're gonna fill them with our jam and then put them back in there for the canning part. This was the other thing I ordered, which is just a little canning utensil set of some items you need to get your jars in and out of the canner. So we've got a jar lifter. How does it work? Okay, it's not that complicated. It's to be able to grab your jar and lift it out without having to touch it. Got a canning funnel, And this tool is a debubbling tool. You want to stir around your liquid so that there's no bubbles in there. And then this is also measuring for headspace. When you're canning jam, you want 1/4 of an inch headspace, so air left in your jar, which is just this first notch here. So we'll just make sure we fill our jars and leave that much space. I am just going to spoon our mixture into our jars and see how many we can fill. I'm doing terrible at this. Wow. It's probably because the spoon is slotted on the side. Okay. I think I could do a little more. I was able to fill 4 pint jars plus a little extra. I'm kind of wishing I did the 1/2 pint size because this is just a lot of jam to go through at once, and then I'd have more small little containers. So maybe next time I would use the smaller jars. So you can reuse canning jars, but not canning lids. You always need to start with a clean, brand new lid. I just rinsed these in hot soapy water, dried them up, and then I'm gonna screw on our bands, and they say just to fingertip tight. Okay, so I added more water to cover my jars by 1 inch. I'm gonna let this come to a full boil. Once it is boiling, I will set a timer for 10 minutes. That's how long it takes to process these, and then we will remove them from the pot. And this guy here, I'm gonna let come to room temperature and then put it in the fridge. And tomorrow we will be able to give it a little taste test to just see how it is. Then I won't have to open a freshly canned jar, which actually works out pretty good. Here's what's up in Alaska today. It's been very rainy the last few days, but I wanted to take you into my backyard to show you something in my neighbor's backyard actually that signifies the end of summer. So this pretty purple flower coming over the top of my fence is called fireweed. Fireweed is not the state flower of Alaska, but it is the most like iconic Alaskan flower, I would say. It's this beautiful purple, okay, let me climb up here, plant. It gets very tall and you can see the flowers bud up to the top. Once the final tippy top of the fireweed blooms, that means summer is over. And you can see we are getting close. Fun fact about fireweed, it gets its name because it is the first plant usually to grow after a forest fire has come through and burned everything. So fireweed signifies new life, new growth, and it's beautiful. I have actually had a friend bring me fireweed jelly. She collected fireweed and turned it into a jelly. So I think I need to do that. Do you think I could steal it from my neighbors? Okay, I won't steal from them. I will have to go out when it's not raining. It's currently raining on me. Cool. Collect some fireweed and make some fireweed jam or jelly. That sounds so good. It was really yummy, the kind that she made. So I'll have to see if I can figure out how she did it. So our 10 minutes is finally up. We can get our jars out. Let's see how I do this. So here are my 4 jars of jam. They are now just gonna sit here for 24 hours on my counter undisturbed while they come down to room temperature. After that amount of time, I will check their seals to make sure that they are sucked in, not popped out, and that they all got a good proper seal. And then they'll be ready to go on the shelf. They look beautiful, I will say that. I rarely have freezer space, so even though I love freezer jam, this is just gonna be so nice that it can stay on my pantry shelf, and then we can still have delicious homemade jam whenever we want. This should be fresh on your shelf for about 1 to 3 years. I also think this will be so fun to have on hand to give as gifts to neighbors and friends or teachers, anybody who you just want to share a little love with. I love giving homemade gifts. I think the perfect homemade gift combo would be a loaf of sourdough bread and a bottle of jam or a jar, whatever. But I think I'm gonna have to give some teachers some nice gifts for the first week of school. Can I share with you my thoughts about canning while I am over here grilling up some burgers for my family for dinner tonight? I have always been interested in canning, but just it's not something my family did growing up, and so I've just never known how to do it. I honestly thought canning was for old people. But I have quickly learned that it is not. It is for anyone who just wants to be able to preserve foods and have a nice little stockpile of food available to you, not only for convenience, but also in times of emergency. I figure I'm gonna start out by doing water bath canning because that is a very small investment. All you need is the stuff that I showed you, a stock pot and some canning tools, and you can do water bath canning for any foods that are like highly acidic, like the jams, pickles. What else can you water bath can? I don't know. But I'm starting simple, and then if I feel like I like it and that I'm actually going to do canning, I want to invest in a pressure canner. So if you have any suggestions of pressure canners that you like and work really well, especially for beginners, I am all ears. I would love to know in the comments what brand to look for. I'm thinking an electric one because the canning on the stove with the pressure canner kind of scares me, but I don't know, maybe I could do it. So any advice that you have about pressure canning, I will gladly take. I'm just trying to expand my skill set. I'm obsessed with freeze drying, always will. That's never going away. I am now dabbing into the water bath canning, but I think I want to try pressure canning. Should I do it? Let me know. Okay, it's time to eat. Don't laugh at my grilling job. I'm not a grilling expert yet, but we will check in tomorrow on the jam and actually see how it turned out. I can't even wait. Welcome back. It is the next day, and I'm still in the same sweatshirt that I wore yesterday. I just got back from the gym. Don't mind my appearance, but I finally got my kids fed. They're downstairs. I'm ready to check out how our jams turned out. So our jars have sat here for 24 hours. We can now take the rings off and check our seals to make sure that they sealed properly. And if they did seal properly, then these are shelf stable for like 1 to 3 years, I think is what they say. So you wanna like make sure there's no bounce back. If it pops, then you know it's not sealed. It definitely feels tight. I think we have success. So I've heard that you should store your canned goods with the rings off so that you can always be aware of how the seals look and if there's ever any changes. Is that what you do? Is that what canners do? You store it with the rings off? Let me know. So I've got my loaf of sourdough here. We have to taste it. This is the jar that I put in the fridge overnight. I have not even tasted it yet. We gotta give it a try. And of course we gotta do it on the homemade sourdough. This is a wonky looking loaf, but still tastes good. Got my toasty bread, butter, jam. Do you love my cute butter dish? Because I do. I bought this at Anthropologie, like way back when, right? As I was getting married and getting into my first house. And I have used it ever since. And I just think it's pretty and it's kind of sentimental to me. And I just love it. Anthropologie has the cutest home stuff. If you didn't know, it can be fairly expensive. So that's why like this butter dish was something I definitely like probably couldn't afford at the time, but I splurged on it and I love it. I feel like the consistency of the jam was perfect. It was not too runny, but also not too like gelled and solid. Okay, are we ready? This is so good. I mean, I'm not shocked because I thought it would be good, but this is so good. It is so much better than anything you can buy in the store. It is better for you, and it's reminding me of my grandma's freezer jam. That taste just brings back the memories. I'm so happy about this. I think I'm gonna now become the jam lady. I'm trying to think of all the jams I can make. The next thing I want to try canning in my water bath canner are pickles. I want to make homemade pickles. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you want to see another video where I changed up a recipe from the grocery store, made it at home, I will put that right here for you to watch. I will see you all on the next video. Peace out.